he was very calm about it. Me, I have two third-degree black belts in the martial arts, and just by reflex, I would have been on the news for sure. Welcome to the Father Leo Show, where we're dishing out faith, culture, and commentary. In this episode, I want to talk a little bit about the struggles to say Mass. Obviously, we have to deal with people being apathetic, coming in late, looking absolutely bored. Not in my Masses, of course, but I've seen it elsewhere. No, seriously. Even if with the most dynamic speaker, you can have people being bored at church. But there is also another type of problem that we encounter in our sacred liturgy, and that is when evil confronts the good. Check out this video. Oh. So he was getting ready to consecrate the chalice, and this girl goes up and attacks him. He's now kind of doing a little exorcism blessing on her. He's saying, don't you worry, don't you worry, don't you worry. Carrying this girl out.
Tomen y beban todos de él, porque este es el cáliz de mi sangre, sangre de la alianza nueva y eterna.
Okay, he's speaking Spanish, and he's now just doing the consecration prayers for the chalice. He's lifting up the chalice. Now he's saying, adore Christ in his most precious blood. Obviously, that's a little addition to the Eucharistic prayers. So this is probably a charismatic style priest. And so he's actually lifting up the chalice and kind of using it to bless this girl. Now, this is an extraordinary moment. Nothing like this has ever happened to me, thank God, because he was very calm about it. Me, I have two third-degree black belts in the martial arts. Not that I'm like a very violent man, but who knows, like a reaction might kind of give me kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. And just by reflex, I might have done something, and that would have been terrible. Boy, I would have been on the news for sure. But confronting evil, it happens all the time. And what we've got to do is realize that the Mass is the highest form of prayer, because it is the words of Christ himself speaking through the priest in persona Christi, and we confect the Eucharist. Christ's presence and his glory dwells in a very profound way at that moment. And it so happens that in this case, this young girl who was troubled, if anything, possibly even possessed, just wanted to kind of create damage and kind of create chaos. Does this happen? Yes, it does. As a matter of fact, in the Vatican, when I was a young priest and distributing communion for a papal Mass, for example, at St. Peter's, we were told very specifically to make sure that people receive the Eucharist on their tongue. And it wasn't because receiving in the hand was less worthy, although there can be discussion about that. It's to make sure that the person was actually receiving it, because there have been cases where people have received it on the hands and have pretended to receive it and have walked away, and they use those consecrated hosts for black magic, for black masses, for desecrating purposes. And that's why even the demoniacs recognize the presence of Jesus, but Catholics would sit in the crowd and not recognize him in the Eucharist. We've got some problems here. And so in this case, what is one to do? Well, again, I think this priest handled himself as well as he could. He told people not to worry. Christ can certainly take care of himself. This would have been a desecration had she gotten to the Eucharist and kind of thrown it all over the place. But we know that that's been done before as well, and Eucharistic miracles have abounded. So what we've got to do is recognize that evil is real. Do what we can to protect the Eucharistic species at all times, and maybe show the fervor in our love. Maybe not approach Mass so casually, for the priest to make sure that he is reverently, prayerfully, authentically, sincerely saying the words of Holy Communion. and by his gestures of the way he elevates, it literally terrorizes the demons. This also is a great reminder of St. Clare of Assisi, when her convent was going to be attacked by a group of people who were going to take advantage of those nuns. She was known to have taken the Eucharist from the tabernacle and in the monstrance and holding it aside of her window. And from that, a roar of lions came, which scared the would-be attackers away. The Eucharist has great power, and evil knows it. And that's why the devil doesn't want you to receive communion with grace, with sanctity, with reverence and holiness. And that's why the devil doesn't want the Eucharist to be confected in the first place. God bless this priest. God bless this young girl. I hope that she has the help that she needs and the exorcists to provide that sacred service. And I also hope that this helps you to receive communion in a more worthy way. Let us know what your thoughts are by making comments in this video. Help us to spread the message of the Father Leo Show that's dishing out faith, culture, and commentary. Encourage family and friends to subscribe. And also, please support us on our Patreon page so that we can continue to spread the good news and feed you body, mind, and soul. God bless you, and stay hungry for God.